Everyone talks about The Lion King like it's the ultimate hero's journey. We focus on the "I just can't wait to be the king" energy and the triumphant return to the Pride Rock. And when it comes to Simba, the conversation usually stops at he was a brave cub who grew up and took back his throne. In standard movie analysis, Simba's exile is just a training montage. But if you stop looking at him as a hero and start looking at him as a traumatized child, the movie shifts. Today, we are stripping away the Hakuna Matata mask to look at the terrified, hollowed out prince underneath. This is the final draft of Simba. To understand Simba, we have to look at the version 1.0 he was compared to, Mufasa. In psychology, there is a concept called the shadow of the great parent. It happens when a child is raised by a figure who isn't just a father but a monument. In the scene when Mufasa takes Simba to the top of Pride Rock, look at the body language. Mufasa is a silhouette of pure authority. He tells Simba, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom."
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Most people see this as a father sharing a gift. It is actually a father handing a child a debt. Mufasa didn't give Simba a kingdom, he gave him a standard that was physically and emotionally impossible for a cub to meet. When Simba goes to the elephant graveyard, he isn't being brave. He's trying to edit his own personality to fit Mufasa's blueprint. He is performing bravery because he realized that being just a cub wasn't enough to earn his father's respect. In the scene where Simba leads Nala to the elephant graveyard, look at his physiology. He isn't just being a rebellious kid, he is performing bravery. Earlier that morning, Mufasa gave him the "everything the light touches" speech. To a child, that isn't a gift, it's a standard. Simba realizes immediately that he is small, soft, and unproven. He looks at his own blueprint and sees it's blank compared to the monument of his father. He goes to the hyenas to speedrun his own maturity. He thinks that if he can survive a shadow place, he earns the right to stand in the light. Look at the visual metaphor in the grass after the rescue. Simba places his paw inside Mufasa's footprint. The scale is impossible. This is the inadequacy blueprint. Simba realizes that no matter how hard he tries to prove himself, he is literally walking in a footprint he cannot fill. This desperation, this need to edit himself into a hero before he's ready, is the exact vulnerability Scar uses to lure him into the gorge. After the trauma of the gorge, Simba doesn't just run away from a kingdom, he runs away from his own identity. In industry, we call this the Avoidant Blueprint. Look at Simba's face during the Hakuna Matata montage. Most people see a carefree transition, but look at the eyes. There is hollowness there. He adopts this philosophy not because he believes in it, but because it acts as a system of erasure. Hakuna Matata is a corrupt file. It's a mantra that tells a person, if you don't acknowledge the past can't hurt you. Simba spent his entire young adulthood in a state of dissociation. He wasn't finding himself in the jungle, he was burying the final draft of who he was supposed to be because the guilt was too heavy to carry. He lived in a house of no worries because the alternative was admitting that he believed he was a murderer. In the stargazing scene, notice the shift in tone. When Timon and Pumbaa joke about the stars being fireflies, Simba tries to recite Mufasa's lesson about great kings of the past. But he can't finish it. He stops, he laughs it off.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on, give
Simba, come on.
We told you ours.
This is the sound of a collapsing blueprint. He has been running for so long that he has started to see his own heritage as a joke just so he doesn't have to feel the pain of losing it. Arrival of Nala isn't a romantic reunion, it's a legacy audit. In the scene where Nala recognizes him, Simba's first instinct is deflection. He tries to show her around the jungle like a tour guide. He is trying to stay in character as the carefree exile. But Nala represents the project file he left half finished. When she says you're our only hope, she is trying to reinstall a program that Simba has spent a decade trying to delete.
Don't you understand? You're our only hope.
In the scene with Rafiki at the pool, the reflection is the final breakthrough. Simba looks into the water and sees Mufasa. This is the moment he realizes that the blueprint isn't something you inherit from a dead man, it's the code that lives inside you. Look at the chase back to Pride Rock. The cinematography changes. The color shifts from the vibrant, fake greens of the jungle to the harsh, real grays of the drought-stricken Pride lands. Simba didn't just return because he wanted a crown, he returned because he realized that running is just another way of staying stuck in the moment you ran. He finally stopped editing the past and started rendering the truth. The tragedy of Simba isn't a story about a king. It's a story about the mechanical failure of avoidance. In Simba, we see the blueprint that is incredibly common in the modern family structure. It is the pattern of a person who spends their entire life editing their history to avoid the parts that hurt. Oftentimes, we find ourselves living in our own version of the jungle. We build a life of Hakuna Matata, a life of distraction, of surface level relationships, and of philosophies that tell us that past doesn't matter. We tell ourselves that as long as we don't look back, we aren't actually losing. But the unseen truth is that avoidance is just a slow motion form of drowning. Simba's story tells us that you can't Hakuna Matata your way out of a broken foundation. You can hide in the jungle, you can change your friends, and you can change your diet, but the original files of your trauma will always be there, waiting to be opened. You can spend 20 years pretending the throne doesn't exist, but you'll still find yourself looking at the stars and feeling the weight of a ghost you never buried. This is the reality of the inadequacy blueprint. Many of us are still sitting in a paw print that was never meant for us. We're still trying to prove our bravery in a graveyard that we should have never entered. We spend our childhoods trying to be the final draft for our parents, only to realize as adults that we don't even know what our own handwriting looks like. Simba only became the final draft of himself when he stopped trying to be Mufasa and started trying to be the man who survived the fire. The blueprint didn't fix itself because he took back the throne, it fixed itself because he finally stopped running in place. This is what happens when a person tries to ignore the source code of their identity. Eventually, the system crashes, and the only way forward is to face the very thing you spent a lifetime trying to delete. You aren't a failed project. You aren't a beta version of your father or your mother. You are the architect of the return. And the first step towards the final draft isn't finding a kingdom, it's finally having the courage to look into the water and admit who is looking back. This is the final draft of Simba. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next analysis.